Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Bruno and today I'm going to tell you another story. If you're just arriving here and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I now invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate your bell so every time I publish a video again, YouTube will notify you and you can run here to watch it with me guys. YouTube has shown me that around 30% of the people who watch me here are subscribed to the channel. The others 70% haven't signed up yet, so check it out. If you watch me and is not already subscribed, subscribe, because by subscribing we increase our community, we become closer, and I am very happy to have you here. Now, without further ado, let's go for today's case. Aline Araujo was 24 years old at the time of the events. She was studying theater and had the dream of being an actress. According to friends and family, Aline was a loving person, sweet and full of light, but unfortunately she suffered from depression since her adolescence, and that's why she decided to study psychology to understand a little more about the human mind and be able to help people who were facing the same problem as her. Aline was a very strong woman, and I say that because even with all the difficulties she faced when living with depression, she felt that she had to touch other people's lives. And that's why she created a blog on Instagram entitled Be Honest. On her blog, she talked about what it was like to live with this diagnosis and help people who were going through the same situation. Aline was created solely by her mother, and they were very close. Aline met Orlando Costa Jr., who at the time of the events was 30 years old, and it was basically love at first sight. They were together for about 2 years. Although the two loved each other throughout their relationship, the relationship felt like a roller coaster with lots of ups and downs. According to Orlando, this happened due to Aline's emotional instability. This is confirmed because Aline herself reported several times on her social networks that Orlando was super attentive to her and always offered help, that he was always worried about her and trying to please the young woman. Although Aline had several depression incidents, she also had very happy moments where everything seemed normal. She studied, had good grades, dedicated herself to her Instagram page, got ready, took lots of happy photos, but the opposite also happened, and there were moments when the young girl didn't get out of bed at all. Sometimes she spent days without taking a shower or even eating. It had even happened that Aline tried to take her own life more than once, but thank God without success. She continued trying to overcome her problems and move on. What gave her a lot of strength was her relationship. Orlando really brought great peace to the young lady, and that's why they decided to live together. According to Aline, perhaps this proximity would help her a lot with her depression. Orlando later reported that living there with Aline was a shared suffering. He didn't know how the two of them could build a family if often he needed to prevent her from jumping from the window or hurting herself with any object in the house. Imagine what it would be like to raise a child in such an environment. Orlando couldn't see a future in that situation. He even reported that when he went home, he prayed that there weren't a lot of firefighters and police around the building, and that when he saw that everything was calm and peaceful, he felt at peace because he knew she would be fine and that nothing bad would have happened. Every day it was the same agony when going home. Even with all this situation, they set a wedding date. Aline was very excited to finally make the couple's union official. Orlando reports that it was no longer a relationship. He felt as if he were her caregiver and not her partner, but he remained firm there, afraid that if he put an end to the relationship, something worse would happen. Orlando's parents were totally against that marriage. His mother even reported that throughout their relationship, her son had lost the sparkle in his eyes and he no longer smiled and was no longer the light-hearted boy he was before meeting Aline. Anyway, the wedding was already scheduled and would take place on July 14th, 2019. Orlando even wanted to make the marriage official. In the days before the wedding, Aline was radiant and sharing everything with her followers. The problem is that one of the couple's union documents caught a lot of Orlando's attention. It was a will where, if he lost his life, Aline would benefit from all of his assets. When Orlando saw this document, he felt very bad. He even told Aline that he didn't want to be worth more dead than alive. Aline insisted that it was already very close to the wedding date and that there would not be enough time to change those papers. Orlando said that he wouldn't accept it that way, so the young woman suggested that they have the wedding party and postpone the civil ceremony to give them time to sort out the paperwork. Orlando accepted and the preparations for the party continued, but everything was going on in Orlando's head. He no longer felt that marriage was the right thing to do. Then, the day before the wedding party, Aline receives a message from the groom, ending everything. He said he was sorry, but he couldn't continue. Aline was inconsolable with the news. The party was already organized. Everything was already paid for, so she decided she wanted to continue with all that even without her fiancé and would do her wedding alone. On her social networks, she made a post about it. She said, "You know the pain of trusting someone blindly and thinking that you have found your life partner, and one day before the celebration of your love, the person disappears, sends a message on WhatsApp, and ends all your dreams. I was taken by surprise and wanted to die. He always knew my condition and didn't care how I was. I received the news and was driving. I had a crisis at the wheel, left my car, and threw myself on the expressway. But Heavenly Daddy is good and saved me once again. I could stay here crying, but I have a beautiful party waiting for me. So today I marry myself in the name of my new life. Wish me luck. I love you all." The party took place and Aline shared everything on her social networks. She seemed happy dancing, enjoying her solo wedding. She really seemed to have overcome everything. Friends of the young woman reported that in person she seemed anesthetized, and on several occasions they noticed that she was crying in the corners, but that she was trying to hide it and show strength. Everyone was worried about what this after party would be like. After spending all that adrenaline, Aline could have another crisis. The young woman's mother decided that she would spend that night with her and also the following day. After all, she knew that the consequences of that solo marriage would come. When they got home, Aline went to bed and her mother took a sleeping pill as she was very tired. She didn't know, but Aline spent the night looking at the nasty comments she received because of that wedding. People said she just wanted attention, and other comments even offended the young woman in an even worse way. The combination of all this hit Aline like a bomb, and she had another crisis. That's when she walked to the balcony of her apartment and jumped from the 9th floor. The housekeeper said she saw the moment when Aline was hanging from the balcony. She tried to pull, but didn't have time to reach the young woman. She jumped earlier. After the repercussions of the young woman's death, many people on social media started saying that this was all a marketing strategy for her social media, and Aline must have been alive and would soon reappear. When everyone realized that this wasn't going to happen and that this was something very serious, people began to attack Orlando, saying that he was responsible for the young woman's death. The boy even posted on his social networks that his life was over and that when he had strength, he would tell people his version. His parents said that he was suffering a lot. When Orlando finally gave his first interview, he said that saved Aline several times. He said that when he entered into a relationship with Aline, he believed that giving love, affection, and care from doctors, she was going to heal. But he realized that none of that would be enough. Aline's mother did not blame Orlando for her daughter's death. He even went to the young woman's mother's house to ask her for forgiveness, but she said it wasn't his fault and that his only mistake was taking it until the wedding date and breaking up with her the day before. I think that from this story no one came out well, because when this kind of thing happens, it is natural for us to blame ourselves, especially when we are so involved. If you know someone who is in this situation, take care of that person and give your love. Encourage the person to seek medical treatment, help, but never blame yourself. If the result is not positive, you did what you could. After all this, folks, Aline's social media was booming. She had around 100,000 followers on her blog, and today she has over 200,000. I have already talked about this in some other cases, and it happens a lot. After the person loses their life, people go there and follow her. But you even told me in some comments that this could be out of curiosity because people want to know what happened and be informed, and then the person ends up becoming known. Well, folks, that was the case today. I hope you liked the way I handled this case. If you liked it, leave a like, and it helps me. It really motivates me to continue bringing cases like this to you guys. I'll stay here and see you in the next video.